All right, we are live.
All right. Thank you, Kenzie. This is Greg Lussetto with the Lussetto Live here. Tonight, our guest is going to be Aaron Anderson from well, you'll have to forgive me with the fair. What county?
Boone County.
Boone County
Yep,
Fair
Boone
at
County
Albion.
Yep.
Yes, we're very excited. They're new on our schedule this year. I've heard great things about your fair. I understand that it's a little different from a lot of the fairs that we deal with, that it runs during the week. Can you expand on that a little bit?
This year will be a little bit of a change. We start on July 8th, so that'll be a Saturday. That starts with our concert, okay. And then we run till about middle of the week. Wednesday, we start winding everything down. This is the first year that we've swapped with Madison County. Normally, they're before us, and then we follow middle of the week to the weekend.
Okay, very good. That's interesting. Is there a reason why they've done that? I've understood that maybe it's a carnival and different things.
Yeah, I believe we share the same carnival as they do. So just how the scheduling works.
For sure. And these days, a carnival for a fair, I mean, it's great to have, but it's not easy to secure one.
No, it's not. And we've been fortunate to have DC Lynch for the last 4 or 5 years, and he provides a great carnival all around for, all ages.
Yes. And I also understand, I've got Brian Fuhrer is a friend of mine, and he is literally just down the road from you guys in Lee. And he tells me that you guys have I told me the fairground's just fabulous, and big grandstand and racetrack and all that stuff.
Yeah, we have actually we host racing every Friday night. We have IMCA stock cars and late models, all the way down to hobby stocks and stock cars, and we try and offer other specialty events as the year goes on.
Sure. Yep, and this year, then new to your schedule will be our Heartland Region Pull, along with our National Series Light Mods, which is a great local class near you as well.
Correct, and this is the first year we've had Outlaw and the Heartland Division at our fair. Previously, we've had Northeast and had really good luck with them. And I know nobody likes change, but we're seeing what the crowd likes, and trying to throw a little bit of horsepower and a little bit of black smoke to them and see if it's something we like.
Yes. Now, is the Northeast group, are they involved at all, or is that maybe a later date thing?
That may be a later date.
Okay.
I know they just did a pull in Primrose, and we went there this last weekend and did some pulling, and it wasn't too bad. It's just everybody wants something different, so why try it?
Time for a change. Yeah, I understand. Very good. I guess I want to go back, and I've talked to you a little bit, between convention and different things. You have some history that you're originally from Michigan, and I understand you were probably around some Region 2 polls, NTPA polls.
Yep, I grew up was born and raised in Michigan, in the Saginaw Valley. I have an extensive racing background, as my dad has had, raced monster trucks for about 35 years, both professionally and just the summer circuit.
Sure.
So for the last 15 or 20 years of our career, we were sponsored by Lucas Oil, and had the opportunity to go and be involved in Lucas Oil Pro Pulling and their drag race series, and get to see all the guys that, you see on TV every day. And then starting off when I was young, I was like, Dad, let's get into tractor pulling. So I started on a garden tractor and pulled for a few local guys, and then eventually grew up into like a mini mod and got the opportunity to pull a couple of multi-engine tractors. And it was awesome. It was a great experience. It's in your blood. You never want to get out of tractor pulls.
That's for sure. So you pulled like a twin engine, 3-engine mod, or what?
I pulled a twin engine.
To sit on there.
Yeah, I put a twin engine, and
that would have been an experience.
That was the greatest experience of your life. Getting to hold 4,000 horsepower at your hand.
Yes, absolutely.
And just point and shoot. And when you get done with it, it's like, all right, let's go build one. Then you see the price tag, and it's like,
yes,
we'll stick with one sport for a while. So,
yes, it could be a little daunting. What group was that with? Was that an NTPA event, or what association was that affiliated
with? It was Michigan Truck and Tractor Pulling Association. So they strictly did county fairs, and then they put on their own private events. And they had everything from off the road street stock to multi-engine unlimited.
Really? Okay. I mean, I love pulling and I keep track as much as I can, but Michigan, I don't, I know of the thumb tractor pullers and, and then some of the NTPA stuff, but beyond that, I probably fall down a little bit on what else is going on there.
Yeah. I did a little bit with thumb tractor. I did a lot with those guys when we did garden tractor pulling. And then I have some friends that are still in the diesel side of thumb tractor.
Okay.
So like, Tony Burkhart with Dirty Hooker Diesel.
Yes.
Is a real good friend of mine, and I like seeing his trucks, and I've done a lot with them. Derek Rose from DNR Customs is a real good close friend of ours, as well as his top mechanic, AJ. We go play in the mud together and go on side rides. So it's a close-knit family, even though we didn't get too far into it.
The pulling family is just an extension from, I got a great story last year. I want to say, kind of mid-season or so. I get a call from Jason Schultz, and somebody from Michigan had broke down out in Colorado. And we were trying to line people up, and, it's amazing how one person knows another person, and you call 2 later. Next thing you know, these guys are at one of the pulls, and they actually were part of the team with the Cruel Intention tractor, a Capazzo. Is that?
Yep. Capazzo.
So it's just crazy small world and how it all intertwines. It's great.
Exactly, and when we started being involved with Lucas Oil as a balloon sponsor with our race trucks, you sit on Sunday afternoons and watch NTPA and Lucas Oil Pro Pulling, and you see the Boyd and Son guys, and it's, those are cool tractors. And then when those guys are willing to let you see behind the scenes of what they have, and they definitely let us feel like family when we travel through their area.
Oh, nice. Very nice. So how long ago did you move to Albion or Knox County?
I've been to Boone, let's see, about 2.5 years.
Okay.
I've been down here. Originally from, like I said, Michigan. I started down here, and I actually work for a Case IH dealer here in Albion. So.
Nice. Very nice. Is there any, we should go through like sponsors and stuff that you have at the event? Because I know, man, they make the world go round when it comes to putting these deals on.
And this year, we're very fortunate to have a good list of sponsors. Actually, my employer, who is a Case IH dealer, we seen it on our dealer portal that it was, hey, Case IH is Outlaw's premier sponsor.
Yes,
let's give it a shot.
Sure.
So we had talked to our powers that be at Caton International and said, all right, if we can make it work and they can work it into your schedule, let's give it a try. So one of our premier sponsors is Caton International here in Albion. We cover all the way from we have 2 other stores in Crofton and then one in Neely.
Yep.
Other than that, we have a bunch of class sponsors. I have Prothman Farms out of Albion, Larry Byerman Farms, Country Partners, Byerman and Dozler Seed, PF Repair, S&P Trucking, OK Realty and Auction, Helena, All Diesel Repair, John Laska Trucking, Anderson Farm and Fleet Transport, Zuha Hay Grinding, A&T Property Maintenance, John Timmy Auction and Realty, Nyhart Sandblasting, Cornerstone Bank, and Boone County Bank. So we got the county to pull together, and they're ready to put on one heck of an event for us, and we want to see what Outlaws can do, and
yes,
in the Heartland division.
One other thing I'm excited about too is there's somebody local there that just purchased a tractor.
Actually, he's my neighbor.
He's your neighbor, and
Yep.
Forgive me for. I know that we've texted back and forth a little bit on a few things. Can you tell me a little about their name and their story a little bit?
Mark Reardon bought Red Factor 2.
Yep.
And now is renamed it Rum Runner. I've seen him at a couple of local pulls. Actually, at Primrose this last weekend, he had a real good hook on it, and that tractor performed very well.
Yes.
And the plus side to Mark is not only do I see him across the road and I get to see that tractor all the time, I work with him. He's actually one of our lead combine techs in our combine shop.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So Mark bought a really nice tractor and has put his own touches on it, and it has turned out to be a pretty good pulling machine.
We're looking forward to seeing it, and then we're very excited to have it on our circuit. Had he pulled previous in some of the farm classes?
I believe he did a few years ago.
Yes,
but don't quote me on that. But I know he had pulled here recently. He bought the tractor and thought all the bugs were worked out. I mean, just like everybody else. First pull of the year, you get the gremlins.
You bet.
But when he was in Primrose last week, that tractor hooked, and it performed very well.
Oh, great. Good news. Like I said, we're very excited to see them, added to our circuit. And it always helps, in my opinion, to have a local involved, because that really helps bring people to watch for multiple reasons.
Exactly. I mean, we had a few other guys that are still local, but the classes aren't there for them.
Yes.
Either they're, a farm stock tractor or a little above that, on top of, I know I'll have some local guys there that still pull. Larry Byerman is one of them. Actually, his wife is our bookkeeper.
Yep. Okay. I thought I recognized that name, because I will tell you that there's, from some of the farm pulls I've been to, there's quite a following of farm pullers from Albion.
Yep.
Some pretty tough tractors.
And a close personal friend of ours, which is Dan Shatosky, he pulls a farm class tractor. So
yeah,
it's nice when you get all these guys that, antiques are nice. I grew up pulling antique tractors, my grandpa's tractors, but nothing beats loud horsepower and black smoke.
Yeah, but the one thing I always say, there's a place for all of it. Exactly. I spent, I almost grew up running an antique sled, and I did that from 92 on. And while a lot of people, boring this, I thoroughly enjoyed the antiques, and still have a ton of friends that did that.
And that's me, coming back from Michigan, we have a festival. It's called Old Gas Tractor Fest.
Yep. And
it's nothing. I mean, I think 64 is the newest you can have.
Okay.
1964. And it's, you go there, you see some of the steam engines, you see some of the gas, the old gas tractors. Yes. And they'll either do the antique pull or they'll do the concrete pulls.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's intriguing to me. I've only seen videos. I've never seen that in person.
We used to go every year. My grandpa used to take a 520 John Deere.
Yeah.
And, go show it off, and he'd hook onto the sled every now and then. But, it's a great experience for all the young kids that are able to pull the antique class. You see 10, 12-year-olds that you're pushing them in the right direction.
Yep.
It's a lot nicer to know you're at the pulling track on a Friday night than out causing trouble. That's the way my dad always gave it to me.
Yeah. Did it work? I mean, did you stay out of trouble then, or?
I stayed out of trouble, but we made more horsepower, and
Yeah.
that's the way it was.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not partial to any, you know, red, green, yellow. To me, it's nice seeing all the old classic iron, but
Yes.
then it's nice going to the outlaw division, you know, the outlaws and the heartlands, and getting to see everybody's little twist on what they do differently.
Yes.
I got to experience it last year in Ravenna for the first time with you guys, and just seeing what both series offer is second to none. You know, most people don't want to see big multi-engine tractors, but they love the diesel guys. And to me, I'd rather see black smoke and loud horsepower going, you know, 300 plus feet.
Yes.
And seeing what true craftsmanship each individual puller has.
Yes. Yep. And then also you'll get a guy come along with something simple that's not, you know, may not be the spit and polish like some of the guys that can, you know, hang right in there and run with them too.
Yep. The weekend warrior that, you know, it's Friday night. We're going to go pulling. And they roll in with their motor home and their, you know, hot farm tractor. And it's like, oh, does it look worth it? And then they blow it into the track out, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yes. Well, I think that's the one thing that I tell you that I'm excited about. You mentioned like Ravenna, you know, you have the national following, but then you also we have some a little bit different classes, but some of the same people in the Heartland division, that it kind of gives a price point a little bit for, you know, a fair like you guys starting out. You know, it's not all of a sudden jumping into a $40,000 show. You know,
correct.
Gives it some options.
And that's where we started looking at it end of last year, when we wanted to figure out what are we going to give to the fair this year, or what are we going to provide for the crowd. And, you know, I love doing the concerts. We have a great concert committee and a great concert lineup year after year. And our concert committee does the best job that they can do.
Mm-hmm.
And we have great acts. We are very fortunate that we have the racetrack. We have a racetrack committee that maintains our track and, you know, is willing to help with some of our events and provide a nice facility and everything that we need for, you know, grandstand events like this. But we're trying some different things this year. You know, that's what we got to do.
Have you, do you know much about this light mod class that is part of the national series that's coming?
No, I don't.
I do have a tractor in there, but it's one of my favorite classes back east because there's a good group of turbines. There's 2 to 3 Allisons that run, and I mean, strong competitors. There's a couple blown Hemis, some turbocharged LS motors. There's a great variety. And even new this year, that one thing that I'm going to be standing somewhere to watch this deal when I can is there is a diesel mod that's going to debut out of Wayne with a 640 cubic inch International engine on it, on diesel.
Perfect.
So I'm very excited to see that come together.
I seen that. I think that tractor falls in that class. I think it's a twin turbocharged LS tractor you guys had. I think it was second to none.
Henry. Yep.
And to look at that, it's something out of the ordinary. But when you see him hook onto the sled and wind it up, I mean, it's
a tough tractor for sure.
It's a rocket sled on rails, and he points and shoots, and that is something very interesting to me because, you know, back 10, 15 years ago, turbos weren't a thing.
No.
Turbo tractors, unless you were pushing smoke or pushing alcohol, that's what it was. Most guys had the blown Hemis, the blown big blocks. And and to see that, as well as I think I seen for the first time your guys' that American ethanol or American gas by Poet.
It's American ethanol. They're out of South Dakota, but that is one unique machine.
It is. When I seen that last year at Ravenna, I told everybody that we were there with, I'm like, that's a one-off. That is something that just, you'll never forget that.
No. And were you able to get close to it and look it over, or did you just see it go down the track?
No, I seen it go down the track, and starting out, you look at it and it's like, oh, it's an ethanol burner. Is it gonna make it? What's it gonna do? And as soon as he, lit the fire and sent it down the track, it's like, all right, they got their program figured out.
That guy's a character, and he the stuff in that. And listen, I haven't looked at it for a few years, but it's been 7 or 8 years ago that I looked around that thing. That thing doesn't even have a steering wheel.
Really?
Yeah, it's steered with like a micro switch type thing, just a little knob. I mean, it's that guy is doing a different. I mean, I enjoy that because it's not normal, and then just the looks of it, it's a great addition to that class.
Yes, very, very good addition to that. And especially coming from, the Michigan area and all these other tractor pulls, you see a variety of different sleds in your guys' series, both the Heartland and
yes,
the Outlawed series. That, every sled's built different. Everybody's got their unique flavor on it, and
yes,
it's cool because every kid knows the Big Red Sled, or everybody knows Red Rock, and
absolutely
everything like that. And to be able to come out west here in the last couple of years, be able to see all these other sleds, it's different from what I experienced.
Well, and you guys had a lot of unique sleds and sled operators up there. I mean, like, is it the guy in that, was it, I want to say Ellenbaum or somebody that?
Yep. Ellenbaum had theirs, and that was a good sled. That was.
And Ludke, isn't Ludke up in that part of the world too?
Yep, Ludke was up there, and those sleds were the top, top performers that we had at our county fairs and all of our tractor pull events. And they didn't give us too much of a hard time when we were hooked to them. But if you did something wrong, he made sure you knew.
Yeah, I can believe that. Yep.
And going back to all the county fairs that I had in Michigan, and like I said, primarily everything we had was diesel. I mean, a lot of it was diesel truck and a few diesel tractors. Now you get out here, and there's a happy mixture of diesel, alcohol burners, ethanol burners.
Yes.
And everybody roots for their favorite color and favorite puller.
Yeah. Oh.
I had a few orange ones in my part of the country, as well as I had a couple guys that would pull the old whites and a bunch of Minneapolis Molines.
Okay. And and again, forgive me for not knowing exactly a lot of stuff about Michigan, but we're like Charlotte. Is it far from where you were, Michigan?
Charlotte is about 2 hours west of me. I was directly in the middle of the thumb, so like the Saginaw area, Flint.
Yep.
Up there, we dealt a lot with thumb tractor. And then we dealt with the pocket pullers for everybody doing like the small super or mini mods and garden tractors.
Okay.
And even doing garden tractors, the guys that come in with, the weekend warriors that come in with 20 garden tractors on their trailer, and then you get the guys that roll in with big toter homes, and it's like all that for a mini mod. Well, when you're sponsored by John Deere,
it doesn't hurt, right?
It doesn't hurt.
I have a feeling Todd might have been referencing Max Simpson, because he was out of Charlotte and was one of the, absolute well-known legends in Alice Chalmers pulling.
And then between them, and then I don't know if you know who Bob and Terry Jostock are.
Yes. In fact, I just bought parts from Bob here just the other day. Bob's a character.
Bob restrips the blowers on my dad's race trucks.
Oh, really?
Because they own a blower shop.
Okay.
Yep. So Bob and Terry have done wonders for us for our superchargers on my dad's race team. Those guys, Boyd and Sons. I'm forgetting a bunch of other ones. Just because, not every NTPA event was the same, and we had different guys. No. I have some really close friends in Akron, Michigan, which is the Fosters. So
okay.
Carmen Foster with Foster Child and all, and what was it? Simply Red.
Are they close to you where you came from then?
They're 15 minutes.
Okay, because see, I don't know if you knew this, but I believe it's Foster's Simply Red truck now lives in Colorado.
Okay.
Is it like a 56 Chevy?
Yeah, 56 Chevy, and then they had, was it Pro Performance's new independent front end?
Ooh, I'm not that much of a four-wheel drive guy, but yeah, that Ron Green out of Fort Morgan, Colorado, purchased that truck last summer.
Okay, and I see his daughter. I think his daughter Carmen just moved into Indiana, and she's running third in points.
Yeah, they're perennial. I mean, they're always right up in the points.
Exactly, and they have beautiful equipment, and they know how to get a truck down a track.
Yes, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Time and time again, and no matter what they have, they get it down there. And
yes,
same with Tony Burkhart and Dirty Hooker. Everything that they engineer and put together. I know Tony spends a lot of time doing a lot of R&D, a lot of test and tune.
But I see some of the stuff he blows up, Charles Poosh, which I don't know personally not real well, but he's always part of that UCC,
yep,
or whatever. And I mean, it's amazing to see. They've had some catastrophic failures, but man, I'll tell you, those guys don't quit.
No, it's 20, 30 hours straight getting a truck back together to pull the next day or take it down the track the next day. That's dedication. But it's just like the pulling family and just like the racing family. It's what parts do you need? Let's get this going. We're not going to let you fail.
Yep. Yeah, it's amazing to see what those guys do on the dyno. I mean, I know probably some of that stuff doesn't last very long, but good Lord.
And it's
kind of a Roman candle.
Exactly. It's how hard do we want to push it? I know I want that big number, but do we really want that big number?
Yeah. Not everything that goes along with that big number.
Exactly. Everybody used to ask us racing and tractor pulling, well, how many miles a gallon you get? It's miles per gallon and gallons of feet.
Yes. That doesn't, we'll sort that out later.
Exactly. How much does it go to, cost to go tractor pulling on a weekend? All of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All of it. And then some if it's got some failures.
We've always told everybody that, this is whether it's a boat or you go camping or you like to golf, it all costs.
Yeah, it's an addiction.
This is what we choose to do with our time and money and effort, and hang out with like-minded people.
Exactly. And that's, I like hanging out with some of the guys that do all the big tractors nowadays. And then I also like hanging out with the farm stock guys or even the antique guys.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I'm partial to classic iron. I'm not a big fan of brand new equipment. I mean, I work on it every day, but I get a fair share coming into our dealership of, the old 1466s, 1066s.
That's interesting. So you still work on a fair amount of the old equipment?
Yep. We have a fair amount of old equipment come through. It's probably for every 10 new tractors, I have one classic tractor come through or old school tractor come through.
I'll be done. Is that stuff? I mean, do you have one guy in the shop that works on that, or?
That'd be me.
Yep. You're that guy. Okay.
I had a ag and farm repair business when I was still in Michigan, as well, plus, farming and driving truck. So I spent a lot of time working on old iron and keeping it going because, out here you look at it and guys that have 1,000-acre section of land is a lot.
Yeah.
In Michigan, if you have 150-acre section of land, you're a big farmer.
Really,
the 2,000 and 3,000 acre farmers are huge out back home.
Oh my goodness!
But we're also a dairy state. We're not a beef state.
Yeah, that's a little different here because honestly, and I don't know if you knew this, but that's really what I do is I work on older red tractors.
Okay.
And it's it is different out west. The farther you get, honestly, it's more new equipment here. The roles of those tractors just change, the auger tractors now, and
yeah, exactly. The tractors that were sought after when my granddad was young, and that's what the farm started on. I mean,
yes,
we started the family farm with just 80 acres, and we started with an old John Deere LA and a John Deere 520. And
wow.
My grandfather still has the LA, and my grandfather still has his 520. And
I'll be darned.
They're just a good little tractor to till the garden and move stuff around the yard.
Yes. We had a couple questions or maybe comments here. Is the pulling track, is it going to be on the stock car track?
It's going to be in the center of the stock car track.
Okay.
So actually, we're putting some bleachers for our VIP area. The people that want to be up close, a little more up close than just the grandstands, that want to feel that power and feel that traction. So we're going to put our pulling track right in the middle of the racetrack for everybody to see.
Okay.
We have a good group of track maintainers that maintain our track during race season. That's the Crone family here in Albion.
Sure.
So they give us some nice equipment for the racetrack to use to maintain their track, and they're going to give us a hand, prepping the track for you guys.
You bet.
I can't thank Caton International enough. I mean, they're giving us the Packer tractor and the scraper tractor, and I think a skid steer to load weight.
Okay.
I got a couple of our fair board members that have some classic tractors that are going to be a pullback tractor. So, in case somebody breaks.
Yes. I'll get to Dalton's question in a minute. And then, have you seen our classic mod class?
No, I have not.
Dwayne mentioned something. That's an interesting class. It's a really nice, almost bridge between the antique tractors and moving up to the bigger stuff. They run like V8 Chevys or Dodges or Fords, 355 cubes, some good 600 horsepower tractors. And man, there's a lot of unique stuff. They all run tractor hoods because there's anything from Cockshuts to Fords to, well, you name it. It's been a great way for people to get into pulling.
That class would be perfect for one of our local guys that pulls some farm tractors.
Yes.
Dan Shatkowski's got a V8 tractor. Doesn't make the requirement because it doesn't have a cage on it yet, but
well, we can keep working on that.
That's what I told him. I'm like, baby steps. Let's get the motor going, and then we'll jump that hurdle when it gets there.
Yes. Okay. And Dalton he asked a question, we're the biggest Heartland Division pull. And boy, that's kind of a loaded question because we kind of have two groups, an east and a west. Probably I would say one of our best pulls in the west side is probably going to be Mitchell, Nebraska, or Scottsbluff County. And that place is amazing. It's a pulling community. They've had 2 pulls a year, and they'll dang near get 2,000 people a night. I don't care if it's Tuesday after. I mean, whenever it is, there's some diehard fans. And on the east side, I tell you, we paired up with the national group and did the state fair last year that worked phenomenal. And we brought some small classes and they brought some bigger classes. We're able to work within their budget and put on a good show. And aside from that, West Point's facility is something you need to see. That pull last year, it was the first year that we did a Heartland region event on Thursday, and then they did the national boys rolled in Friday. And man, that was quite a pull. One new thing that they're doing this year that I think might be of interest to you guys is we've worked out a deal with Northeast that they're going to bring in a handful of classes. It's not a full Northeast show.
Right.
But they're bringing in like maybe 4 classes, and we're going to run those ahead of and we can do that insurance-wise. We can either run it ahead of or after. We can't run them like 2 tracks at the same time, but
right.
We're more than happy because, I mean, that's, to me, I don't ever want, and part of me almost feels bad because I know there's a lot of locals, and you and I both know they love to hook at home.
Oh yeah. And that was, I catch a lot of grief in the shop that Well, they're not having the old classic tractors this year, and I'm the guy to blame, so I'll take it.
Yes. But it also doesn't mean it's never coming back either. It might be such a thing that we could work out a deal and make room for both of us.
And I think that might be the projection next year.
Yep.
To have a few classes of the Northeast guys, because I have, like I said, I like some of the antiques. I like some of the regular farm tractors, as well as everybody gets to come and play. We have I know at Primrose last weekend, there wasn't a parking spot to be found, and there was tons of tractors.
Yes.
And, there was a lot of multiple hooks, but it was tons of tractors that everybody got to go have fun.
Yeah.
The Primroses brought their John Deere out. That is definitely a powerhouse. Like I said,
does that happen to be like the 4455 by chance?
Yep, with a cab.
I'm gonna say that might have left an impression on me. I've seen that run a couple times. It's no joke.
He gave a hook this last weekend, and about the 30-foot mark, let her out, and it ripped the hitch off the tractor.
Oh no!
And I seen them guys rush back home to the farm and re-weld it on, and by God, the next class or the next hook that they needed to be there, it was hooking back up, and
they had it fixed. I'll be darned.
I still think there was smoke rolling off the welds. But that's an unbelievable tractor. It definitely blows a lot of smoke, and they know what they're doing.
It's unsuspecting too with the cab and stuff. You look at it from ways away. It's like, what? But that thing runs.
How many baler tractors do you see with a pyro gauge and an air temp gauge? I mean, I know you want to get done before the rain, but
all right. Yeah, right.
And I still want to offer something for that, with years to come.
Yes.
And that may be a good solution for everybody. Everybody gets to come see their favorite big tractor. Everybody gets to come see their local guy, and we have a nice covered grandstand to keep you out of the sun. So,
yeah, absolutely. This John Baxter asked if we'd ever pulled in Kentucky, and to be honest, our Heartland region really covers eastern Wyoming, western Kansas, pretty much the state of Nebraska, and western Iowa. And then if you take the Outlaw National Series, they pretty much run Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Iowa, South Dakota, Nebraska. So that's kind of our service area, so to speak.
I'm trying to think if I've ever I've been to Bowling Green, but I haven't pulled in Bowling Green. Done a lot of spectating down there with
Bowling Green, Kentucky, or Ohio.
Yep. Bowling Green, Kentucky, and Bowling Green, Ohio.
Okay.
I go to Louisville. I used to go to Louisville every year, and
went back when it was a little closer, right?
Yeah, a little closer. 15 hours from home now, and I used to be only 7 hours from Louisville. So,
yeah.
Being out here, it's a whole different ball game, but it's nice getting to see the difference.
Yes.
And not that it's a bad difference. I mean,
well, but let's be honest. The one thing that I feel like is a huge difference, I mean, a lot of it's very similar, but the thing that you'll find that's a big difference is the multi-engine mods. You will not see a 4-engine mod in this part of the world. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
No. And that was, I mean, we would go to NTPA events or Lucas Oil Pro Pulling events.
Yes.
With Lucas Oil. And I mean, there's hundreds of them.
Yep.
And it feels like, all right, that's tractor number 50. How many more we got? Oh, we're not even halfway through. But then you get out here and you see the real tractors, or you see the different craftsmanship.
Yep.
And that's what really gets me right on point with, how many times can you see a 1466? But 1466 got a bigger turbo, and the way they piped it is way different, and that's craftsmanship to the owner.
Yep. Well, and then I think also the thing that you don't want to sleep on, you take Outlaws National Series, they run that twin Hemi class, and I think sometimes that even though they may be not the same horsepower, the sleds can let those guys get up and run. And I mean, it's unbelievable how fast, because I know at Wisner, Nebraska last year, the stud mule of Kent Urban's hit 40 miles an hour.
Holy cow, that's moving.
That is flat booking in 300 feet.
And I got to do a few other events. Like I did one in Iowa, and they would always do their pull right when the corn was up. So they'd always tell you to shoot for the corn.
Yeah.
At the end of the track. And, you know, when you're sitting there as a spectator, it's like, oh, well, okay, hopefully they're going to stop me before the corn. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. At least the front part of the pan's in the corn. And I'm like, okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's what they mean by shoot for the corn. And that's anything over 300 feet. So
I'll be darned. Did you happen to hear about our pull in Palmer, Nebraska last year?
No, I did not.
And I don't think that's terribly far from you, is it? Maybe an hour?
Maybe an hour and 10 minutes.
This guy literally built a pulling facility behind his house and his farm shed and all this stuff. It was phenomenal. They pulled farm tractors in the afternoon. Big Iron had a tent set up. I mean, it was a great event later in the year in August.
That's a perfect event. You know, I've tried multiple times. We have a magnificent event center at our county fairgrounds, provided by New Warner and everybody in the county. I've tried and asked them if we could pull inside there, and they're like, no, that's for the sporting events and the equine and all the mounted shooting.
Yes.
But it's worth a shot. You don't know if you can't ask.
Yeah.
And,
right.
You know, who wouldn't like to go tractor pulling in December? But
it depends on how cold it is.
That's the other factor.
I have the 1 year that we went to Gordyville, there in Illinois. It was a high of 0 one day and low at 20. And I'm going to tell you what, I love pulling,
but that's hard on parts.
That kind of hit a limit of like, God, this stinks. But it's not like that every year, you know.
Well, that's me. You know, being in Michigan, you think, oh, you're up north. It's cold.
Well, not always. Yeah.
I've never been in the negatives as much as I have been out here. You know, a negative 5, 10 at home was the normal.
Yep.
You get out here to the negative 30, negative 60, and it's like, all right, you guys are better than me out here.
Well, I'm going to tell you something though. You know, I've been through a lot of this, and especially out west, as far as we are. I don't know that I've ever been as cold as driving across New York right off of the lake with the wind blowing off the lake like in January or February.
Well,
Michigan, that was a different cold.
Yeah. Michigan's surrounded by lakes. I mean, it's a wet cold. So you have lake effect snow. I mean, you can look at the radar and, well, it's not snowing. You look out the door and it's snowing 2 inches an hour.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, you had your cold days. I mean, like I said, not as cold as out here. You know, I've went through working at the dealership. I've definitely changed more fuel filters out here than I have even back home. So
really, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else on the show or anything you'd like to throw out to the people?
I think we got it covered. I know we're going to be running a Facebook contest here soon on our Rumble at the Raceway Facebook page. We're giving away 2 tickets. We're going to pick a random couple and give away 2 tickets. If you like, share, and follow, that should be up on our Facebook page probably by tomorrow. I know I'm working with your daughter on that.
Yes.
And I hope to see everybody that likes some tractor pulling come on out to Albion and support our county fair and enjoy the Outlaws and the Heartland division and have a good time.
Well, we're sure looking forward to it, and I can't wait.
I can't wait.
And for one of the questions that just got asked about announcers, the infamous Ron Stone, the national outlaw announcer, will be there. He'll be coming back from Rock Valley there a couple days prior, and he's going to swing by and do the event. He's top notch.
That's what I heard. I heard that you're going to attend and Ron was going to attend. So we're looking forward to it.
Oh yes, I'll be at all of the Heartland region events, East and West. And
now, are we going to have you? Are we having your sled this year, or whose sled?
My sled, correct? Yes. Yep. It'll be up as a backup sled at Rock Valley, and then we will drop down and do that on the way home.
Perfect. I can't wait, and can't wait to see you and Ron and the Heartland Division family, and one heck of a show.
One last question, and this is something that Ron and Ryan Rusnick started. If you could drive anything at any pull and didn't worry about it, what would be your the tractor that you'd love to drive?
Ooh, probably if money wasn't an option, everybody would shoot for that multi-engine class. I'd rather have Beer Money Pulling Team's Remedy.
Yeah,
that tractor stands out, and that tractor is like a rocket sled on rails. And it's just something about silver and red and horsepower.
Did you know that it's no more?
I heard
it expired at Wisner last year horrifically.
That's what I heard, and then I just seen that they got rid of their transport truck.
Well, see, the tractor, he sold the chassis. He's actually building a diesel super, like 4-charger diesel super. It may take another year for it out, but that thing.
I will be looking forward to that when it comes out. And
yes, sir.
If they have any of the secrets that went into that Remedy tractor, that's going to be a dangerous tractor.
Have you ever heard of the Scrappy tractor out of Western Kansas, the Moline?
I believe so.
That's a running tractor, and it's going to be a trailer mate with that one. So
that'll be
sure. I'm pretty sure it'll be pretty salty.
Exactly, and give somebody a run for their money.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, I think we'll probably go ahead and wrap up. Listen, really appreciate you coming on, and like I said, we are looking forward to this show and seeing Landon and Albion. It's been a long time since there's been a big pull there, and we're hoping we can do it justice.
Exactly. We're here to bring the rumble to the raceway and shake the county. So that's what we brought you guys for.
All right. Thank you. And we'll see you in a few weeks.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Yep.